Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Police recovered 2 firearms during major operation underway in Westmoreland. Montego Bay and Sitia in Greece to be twinned. And later in sports, Windies draw warm-up match against South Africa Invitation 11. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. We begin this afternoon with a developing story. A major police operation is currently underway in Lennox Bigwoods in Westmoreland. It's being carried out by the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force. So far, the police have seized 2 firearms, including a high-powered rifle. The operation began early this morning and is expected to continue into late this afternoon. The police are investigating the death of a farmer in Orokabessa, St. Mary. The body of 58-year-old Radcliffe Martin was found at his pig farm. A resident explained that the deceased was discovered close to one of the pigs. Residents surmise that he may have been killed by one of the animals.
With people, you know, you don't really hate nobody, you understand? Well, I know I have some pig race with my mother, and my mother will take a look, so I travel with my mother and see that everything's safe.
Really shocking. We just leave out last night, about after 7, and I don't really live here now. I live over the scheme, but he never come back.
In a TVJ News follow-up, the People's National Party Councillor Caucus has called a press conference this afternoon to discuss the postponement of the local government election. On Tuesday, the government used its majority in the lower house to pass legislation to postpone the election for a 4th time to February 2024. Opposition MPs, after expressing their disapproval, staged a walkout. The representation of the people's postponement of elections to municipal corporations and the City Municipalities Act 2021 will now go to the Senate for approval. The PNP's Councillor Caucus says it intends to highlight the government's blatant disregard for people's democratic rights. Another job hoax at the Girls Guide headquarters in Waterloo in St. Andrew. Now, dozens of young people showed up to the facility this morning with supporting documents for overseas jobs. Now, as Sandy Williams explains, the management of Girls Guide is distancing themselves from the alleged job fair. Now, this is the second such incident at the facility this week.
As early as 6 o'clock, people have been turning up at the Girl Guides Association of Jamaica headquarters on Waterloo Road in St. Andrew for a job fair. However, having waited few hours, they've learned there will be no job fair on location. According to the people, they received a broadcast WhatsApp message with a WhatsApp indicating that a job fair will be hosted here at the Girl Guide headquarters between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now, the flyer indicated that there would be a registration fee of $2,500, and it also indicated the required documents each individual should walk with. Now, a spokesperson from the Girl Guides Association of Jamaica expressed dismay that the association has been brought into disrepute. The spokesperson confirmed that a company did approach the association to organize a job fair. However, a business agreement was not established. Despite this, the job fair was still advertised. Now, the spokesperson said this has created an inconvenience for the association because they have partners whose activities have been disrupted. The spokesperson is warning the public not to turn up on location for a job fair with this particular company because it will not be doing or engaging them in any future business. Reporting from the Girl Guide headquarters, I'm Sandy Williams for TVJ News.
The Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA, is moving ahead with plans to improve its appeal and application process. The FLA says the changes will remove some of the bureaucracy in the system. Details of the changes were outlined on TVJ Smile Jamaica this morning.
Under the new Firearms Act, persons can now appeal the FLA's decision regarding the granting, amending, or suspension of a firearm. To this end, Director of Corporate Planning and Client Relations, Beverly Robinson, says changes have been made to its appeal and application process.
Before, what we had was a review board, and the process was that when an applicant who was declined a license appeals to that board, they review and then they make a recommendation to the Minister of National Security. The process has been changed, and so there is no longer a need for the review panel to make a recommendation.
The National Security Minister has been removed from the process. The review panel has also added a layer of transparency that had previously been questioned by applicants.
The review may look at other things that the board perhaps didn't give much probably credence. Sometimes the board doesn't have all the information at that point. Okay. And there are times when additional information comes in. The thing is, even if you apply and you are not granted a firearm license, whether you go to the review panel or not, you have the right to apply again.
Meanwhile, the processing time for applications has been reduced to 9 months. Before, it took over a year.
The investigations are sometimes done by other agencies that are a part of the security ecosystem of the country. And sometimes there is a delay for us to get back the information. And remember now, our investigations are not just local, they extend overseas as well. Because, and the whole idea, the whole focus is to ensure that firearms get into the hands of people who do not have criminal antecedents.
The FLA has also introduced other changes, such as the expansion of ballistic testing, marking of firearms, and electronic fingerprinting. Carrie Simpson for TVJ News.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The cities of Montego Bay in St. James and City of Crete in Greece are being twinned and will now become the first sister cities in the European continent. Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Leroy Williams, says this will be mutually beneficial to both cities, particularly in the areas of education, agriculture, technology and tourism. Sandra Williams reports.
The relationship between the cities of Montego Bay in St. James and City of Crete in Greece will be strengthened when they formally become sister cities later this year. Speaking at the commencement ceremony, Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Leroy Williams, says this milestone is the beginning of a union for the free flowing of goods and services regardless of the geographical borders.
When we speak of possibilities, though, I must say this strongly. We must ensure that we, especially here in Montego Bay, position ourselves to take advantage of the benefits to be garnered. Sometimes we open doors and are a bit hesitant to increase capacity so as to take on the true benefits to be garnered. We must be ready.
However, Mayor Williams says it is important that the agreement made between both cities are kept to prevent any negative implications.
Our two cities have agreed to promote exchanges in the fields of education, tourism, shipping, and agriculture. I look forward with great anticipation in sharing the diversified experiences which will benefit the people of Montego Bay and Sitia in a holistic manner, adding to nation building in the respective countries. I believe the interest shown by our Greek counterparts is very encouraging.
Meanwhile, Mayor of Greece's municipality, Yayorios Salvakis, says in this era of globalization, forging connections with other countries will help to overcome challenges.
For the first time, the municipality of Sitia has established a friendship with another foreign municipality. For this reason, I explicitly referenced previously to how we dared to dream between the people, between our two people. Allow me to say that we dared because according to the traditional practice of friendships of memorandum between cities was under the requirements of a common culture or history and the course due to its border proximity.
Mayor Yayorios Salvakis added that this opportunity will also present Sitia, Greece, with a substantial relationship unique to the people, since Jamaica holds a different culture and economic structure.
We strongly believe that the mutual willingness can bridge any geographical distances between our two cities and to bring them closer through a continuation and truthful efforts of communication and cooperation. The endorsement of our efforts by the City Council of Sitia and the entire local community is for us the best reward, and I thank them very much for this.
This new partnership between the two countries is based on Jamaica and Greece sharing 47 years of diplomatic relationship. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica says the foreign currency market has remained relatively stable. Governor of the BOJ, Richard Biles, says so far this year, the Jamaican dollar has appreciated compared to the U.S. currency.
At the 16th of February 2023, the Jamaican dollar appreciated against the US dollar on a year-over-year basis by 1.4%. This compared with a depreciation of 4% recorded over the same period of the previous year. In this context, BOJ sold approximately $732 million US dollars via the B-Fixit facility over the 12 months to the 16th of February and sold a further $583 million US dollars to selected public enterprises, including Petrojam.
The last foreign currency intervention was on February 8, with the central bank pumping $30 million US dollars into the market. Further afield in the US, companies can no longer pay off former employees in exchange for their silence. This week, the National Labor Relations Board put employers on notice that they can no longer silence laid-off employees in two very specific ways. One, employers can no longer include a broadly written confidentiality clause that requires employees to keep mum about the terms of their severance agreement. And two, they can no longer include a broadly written non-disparagement clause that prohibits employees from discussing the terms and conditions of their employment with third parties. The board says that both of these moves violate employees' rights under the National Labor Relations Act. While the Labor Board's ruling could be appealed, the ruling is effective immediately. And that's it for the Business Minute.
And now for the top regional and international stories.
The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, says it is seeking to strengthen cholera surveillance in the region, focusing on preparing national laboratories in the Caribbean with the means to identify and respond to potential imported cases of the virus. PAHO's Regional Advisor in Public Health Laboratory Services, Jean-Marc Gabastro, says it is crucial that national laboratories have the tools they need for the timely detection of the deadly virus. He says while the outbreak is currently contained in Hispaniola, a cholera risk assessment published by PAHO in December 2022 considered the risk of imported cases to other countries and territories of the region to be moderate. Further afield, more flight disruptions are expected Thursday as a powerful 3-day winter storm hits the U.S. Tens of millions of people from California to Maine are under weather alerts for severe icing, extreme cold, and sleet. Nearly 700 flights have already been cancelled. According to flight tracking site FlightAware, an additional 1,700 flights were cancelled on Wednesday. The National Weather Service says the Minneapolis area could see at least 15 inches of snow. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, Karen Madden will have your midday sports report.